So what's intersecting right now in the economy? Global economic growth. First and foremost, I don't think we have appreciated how much this has impacted crop prices and livestock prices. You know, it's hard to go back and think a different mindset on an alternative world. Let's go back to 2006, 2005. We were still LDP in corn. Who remembers LDP in corn in this industry? Farmers loved it, right? Why? Because it made them pick the lowest price of the year, and they felt pretty good about picking low prices, right? They were good at that, okay? But they were LDP in corn in 2005 and 2006. Was the world that different economically? Well, not that much. But we were just seeing the ratcheting effect going on in that global economic growth. But the reason I bring that up is let me ask this question. If I would have asked you as an individual involved with the agricultural sector, would $7 corn ration demand, what would you have said? Honestly. When we had $2.25 corn as an ongoing price, if I said, if we hit $7, would we ration corn demand? What would your answer have been? Hell yes, right? Well, the Mexicans can't buy it, you'd say. It'll probably only leave some of the Japanese buyers. What have we seen? We've seen a very marginal effect on global economic demand for exports due to high-priced corn. Global economic growth has changed enough for us to underestimate how much they can pay and what they're willing to pay. What else is going on? The U.S. dollar is dirt cheap. We're seeing a fire sale for U.S. assets. Everywhere you look, you see foreign firms interested in buying U.S. agricultural assets. Why? Is it because they're better operators than we are? No. It's because they got a 50% discount relative to what we're seeing, right? Huge deal. What else is that cheap dollar doing? Quick question. Anybody notice the disconnect between the drop in crude oil prices and the drop in gasoline? Anybody notice that one at the pump? And have you grumbled about it a little bit? It's interesting. The last 3 years, we've run from a net import of 2.5 million barrels of refined products a day. Last week, we exported 500,000 barrels of refined products. Why in the world did we switch by 3 million barrels a day out of 21 million as an importer of refined products to an exporter of refined products? Same reason why we can export corn at $7. The weak dollar has made U.S. refined products cheaper than European and other markets. So suddenly they're importing our refined products, which we never did before. So the weak dollar, which is a linchpin out there in all these dynamics, is completely unpredictable and a huge wild card. Biofuels policy. Show of hands. Who loves ethanol in this room? Okay, who hates ethanol? What, are you too weak to raise your arm?
You're supposed to tell us.
No, it depends on who you are, right? But whether you're an Iowa corn grower or you're a Texas dairy farmer, they have an opinion, right? They love it or hate it, depending on what it does for them. The problem that we have is biofuels policy is completely man-made, right? It's completely arbitrary. And we've never seen a policy get such a 180-degree reception in Washington, D.C. 5 years ago, ethanol was golden. Right now, ethanol is completely under attack in Washington, D.C. You don't think this is going to be a huge source of unknown uncertainty on volatility? It's going to be enormous. And we can't predict it. It's even something we control, but we still can't predict it. Speculation. Wow. If you look at the amount of hedge fund money and secondary interest that's come into agriculture in the last 4 to 5 years, it's huge. There are more people trading in the agricultural space as speculators today than we've ever seen before. They run up and they run down. That also is going to add to this volatility. When they change their minds or change their stories, you get a completely different reaction from them in this market. These three factors, fundamentally, are going to make sure that you can't predict what's going to happen.